Hello students, good morning. Welcome to the lecture number 6 of control and coordination. In previous lectures we have dealt with the two glands. So today in this lecture also we are dealing with certain ahead glands. So let's begin with the lecture. Okay, students, very first gland that today we are dealing with is parathyroid gland. Okay, now the question arises, what is the meaning of parathyroid gland? Now this gland is present along with your thyroid gland. If you'll see the location of this gland, that is your posterior surface of thyroid gland. Now you know what is the meaning of anterior and posterior surface. So thyroid gland ke posterior surface pe parathyroid gland is present. Followed by that there is an assembly. Now if you'll see the assembly, the structure, basically parathyroid gland structurally has four parts, that is two superior parts, that is superior parathyroid gland and two inferior parathyroid gland. So let's tell me, like I'll tell you all with respect to the diagram. See, this is the diagram, okay, and this part, the one which is in black color, if you'll see, the butterfly shaped gland, that is nothing but your parathyroid gland. Now what happens is, basically if you'll see these two parts which are there, the upper one, it is superior parathyroid glands, whereas the lower one is your inferior parathyroid glands, and the butterfly shape which is there, the rest part is your thyroid gland. The lower part that I have drawn, the pipe-like structure, is trachea. The upper one is your larynx, and this one is the opening of your respiratory system, that is a pharynx. You know, pharynx ke baad there is larynx. Larynx ka opening is basically epiglottis. Okay, and there is a bone which supports this entire assembly, is nothing but hyoid bone. Okay, so I repeat, you have to focus in this diagram the two parts, that is superior parathyroid gland and inferior parathyroid gland. There are two pairs of inferior, two pairs of superior. So I said structurally there are four parts, two superior and two inferior. Now what is the arrangement of the cells of parathyroid gland? They are compact mass, like they are arranged in the compact manner. Okay, now coming to the significance of parathyroid gland. Basically your parathyroid gland secretes parath hormone. I repeat, this secretes parath hormone, that is known as, the short term is like basically PTH. This parathyroid hormone, that is your parath hormone, is basically peptide in nature. That is, it is a peptide hormone, which means it has short or long amino acid chains. Okay, amino acid peptides. This hormone is also known as Colles hormone. What is the role of this hormone is? First of all, it regulates calcium and potassium balance between your blood and the other tissue. So the amount of the calcium and amount of potassium, amount of phosphate inside the bone is basically regulated by your PTH. What it does is, the mechanism behind it is, it draws calcium from the bone, and because of that it increases the absorption of calcium in the digestive tract, and eventually it reduces the loss of calcium in the urine. So basically, in order to maintain the calcium and phosphate balance, what this particular parath hormone do is, it draws the calcium from the bone, thereby increase the absorption of the calcium in the digestive tract, and then it reduces the loss of calcium from the urine. So in this way the calcium level is maintained. Now basically how it is been regulated. Regulated ka matlab kya hai? Basically if you'll see in hormone part, we have done that there is certain releasing factor and certain inhibiting factor for a release of particular hormone. Now in case of PTH, there is a release hormone, like there will be a signals which will eventually lead to the release of the hormone, but at the point when you have to stop, or basically body has to stop secreting PTH, there is negative feedback control which has been used. What does it means is, basically I'll tell you all the assembly. Hypothalamus, whenever it receives a signal, okay, whenever there is a deficiency of calcium, or basically it reduces any category of signal which concerns about the PTH, what it will do, it will stimulate pituitary gland. Pituitary gland will stimulate parathyroid gland. Parathyroid gland will release PTH. This PTH will increase the calcium level. Now this increased level of calcium inside the blood will thereby go and stop the signaling which is going to the hypothalamus for this stimulation. सो बेसिकली ये स्टिमुलेशन से जो कैल्शियम लेवल बढ़ा वही एक नेगेटिव कंट्रोल की तरह हाइपोथैलेमस का सिग्नल स्टॉप करेगा. सो दिस कंट्रोल इज नोन एज नेगेटिव फीडबैक कंट्रोल. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, हेलो students, calcium and your, basically we can say it as your parathormone and your calcitonin. If you remember, during thyroid gland we have learned about the calcitonin. Now this calcitonin and parathormone are known as the antagonistic pair. Now what is the meaning of antagonistic pair? What they do is one secretion will inhibit the other one and the first one will inhibit the next one. Basically the way glucagon and insulin works in our body. Whenever insulin is secreted, glucose level decreases. Whenever glucagon is secreted, glucose level increases. Similarly, this parathormone and calcitonin also lead to same control. That is, whenever parathormone will be secreted, it will increase the level of calcium. Whenever calcitonin will be secreted, it will decrease the level of calcium. So in this way, they are known as antagonistic pair, which means opposite pair. Okay. Now we'll be dealing with certain disorders. Now we have done what is the mechanism, how it is working, what is significance, structure, diagram, everything is done. The only part which is remained is disorders. So in disorders, there are two parts as usual. There will be hyposecretion and hypersecretion. When I'm concerned with hyposecretion, hyposecretion is basically leading to your parathyroid tetany, also known as hypocalcemia tetany. What is the meaning of it is basically due to the hyposecretion, what is happening is there is lower levels of PTH. Due to this lower levels of PTH, low concentration of calcium is there inside your blood. Due to the low calcium concentration in the blood, there is increased excitability of nerves as well as muscles, and this leads to muscle twitch or spasms, that is, it is harming your muscle and eventually causing parathyroid tetany or hypercalcemia tetany. So this condition, understanding this condition, is basically known as parathyroid tetany or hypocalcemia tetany, which is caused due to the hyposecretion of your parathyroid hormone, or that is parathormone. Okay. Next is hypersecretion. Hypersecretion mostly leads to osteoporosis. This osteoporosis is very common in the women who are about to reach or who have reached menopause. The one who are above 40, वुमेन्स मोस्टली जो अबव 40 रहते हैं, जो ऑलमोस्ट मेनोपॉज तक आ चुके हैं, उनमें ये ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस इट इज वेरी कॉमन. So what is the hypersecretion known as? It is basically increased level of PTH. Now due to this increased level, what is happening is this increased absorption of the calcium from the bones is occurring. Due to the increased absorption, it is leading to demineralization. This particular condition, that is increased absorption of calcium from the bones, is known as demineralization. Due to this demineralization, all the bones are either getting soft, that is they are softening, bending, or either it leads to fracture. And eventually this entire process leads to osteoporosis, which is commonly seen in the women who has reached menopause. So in this way, students, we are done with the disorders of your parathyroid gland. I'll show you all again. See, we have dealt with the introduction, the diagram, the significance, the negative feedback control, that is how it has been regulated, the disorders of the entire parathyroid hormone. Okay. Now next part that we'll be dealing with is thymus, the second gland. Okay, now this thymus gland, it's a very small description which has been given of your thymus in your textbook. Carefully listen to it. Thymus gland is basically located to the upper part of the thorax. You all know what is the meaning of thorax. The features that it has, it is a soft pinkish bilobed, bilobe ka matlab which is having two lobes, mass like structure or mass of your lymphoid tissues. Okay, again I'm repeating, it is soft pinkish bilobe, that it is having two lobes, mass of your lymphoid tissue. Always remember, this thymus gland is very much prominent at the point of birth or during birth, but however as you go into the adolescence, that is you get into the adolescence, so that period of time it gets atrophied, that is it gets reduced. So this is known as a temporary gland. हम लोग इसीलिए thymus gland को temporary gland बोलते हैं, because during birth it is very well developed and it is very much prominent, whereas however the time when you go into adolescence and you get into an adult, at that period of time it gets atrophied. Okay, now the significance of your thymus gland. First of all, it secretes thymosin hormone. Always remember students, thymosin hormone is very much important in your development of immune system. You must have seen that there are lymphocytes. Abhi circulation chapter you have completed. Now in circulation you know that there are two types of WBCs, that is nothing but your granulocytes and agranulocytes. When I'm concerned with granulocytes, at that period of time you know that there is eosinophils, basophils and neutrophils, whereas agranulocytes mein you have lymphocytes and monocytes. Lymphocytes mein there are two types, there are B lymphocyte and T lymphocyte. Among them the one which matures, basically जिनका maturation thymus gland में होता है, the lymphocytes which gets matured in thymus gland is basically known as your T lymphocyte, and due to this maturation of like lymphocytes in your thymus gland, they are named as T lymphocytes and they are responsible for promoting antibody production. So in this way, this we have done with the thymus gland, the introduction, location, features, note and significance. Okay, we will ahead with the next gland. Okay, now this is a diagram that I have drawn from your textbook. You can also refer this diagram in your textbook itself. So this is your adrenal gland. You must have seen this adrenal gland. It is a Santa Claus cap on your kidneys, both the kidneys you have this Santa Claus cap, and this is basically cutting down. If you'll cut it like this, so at that period of time it will look like this. Okay, now when I'm cutting up a single piece of it, it will basically look like this. It has various layers. I'll let you all know what these layers are all about. First of all, we'll go with the introduction. Okay, now in introduction, very first thing that you have to know is what is the origin. Your adrenal gland is the only gland which is dual in origin. Dual in origin matlab kya? They are been developed. This adrenal gland is developed from mesoderm as well as ectoderm. Okay, that is the adrenal cortex part is from ectoderm and adrenal medulla part is from mesoderm. Okay, there are two parts. We'll be dealing it ahead. So right now you have to remember that the origin is dual, that is they are been originated from mesoderm as well as ectoderm. Then there is location. Location is basically the upper border of your each kidney. I told you all it is a Santa Claus cap on the kidneys. Basically the upper portion of your kidney is covered with your adrenal gland. Features is basically they are small, conical, yellowish glands. They are basically small, conical, yellowish glands. They have two regions, that is they have an adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla. Adrenal cortex is further converted into three parts. It has basically three parts, that is fasciculata zona, reticularis adrenal and zona glomerularis zona. Now I'll show you all what all these parts are basically. If you'll see, I'm repeating again, if one piece of it I'm cutting it down, it will look like this. So now this part, if you'll see, there are certain mountains, small mountains I've made. This is nothing but your outer capsule, the yellowish part, the outer capsule is this part. Okay, after that from here, if you'll see, okay, from here to here, the first part is nothing but zona glomerulosa zona, the first part of your adrenal cortex. Next is this portion entirely, this is known as fasciculata zona. The third part is reticularis adrenal. So 1, 2 and 3, this entire part is your adrenal cortex. And the small part over here that I've drawn is your adrenal medulla. There are certain set of hormones which is secreted by adrenal cortex, certain set of hormones which is secreted by adrenal medulla. So let's deal with it, students. I hope I've made myself clear with this diagram. Just have a look at it properly. Okay, so let's begin with the third part. See, See students, as I stated y'all, there are certain hormones with respect to adrenal cortex, and there is two hormones basically from adrenal medulla. Now if you'll see in adrenal cortex, okay, first of all, as I told, they are derived from your mesoderm. I told there is dual origin. So adrenal cortex is derived from your mesoderm, and adrenal medulla is derived from your ectoderm. Okay, now what is the role of your adrenal cortex? जो भी हार्मोन्स एड्रेनल कॉर्टेक्स में सिक्रेट होते हैं उनको हम लोग कॉर्टिकॉइड्स बोलते हैं. ओके, दिस आर बेसिकली द सेट ऑफ हार्मोन्स. नाउ बेस्ड ऑन द थ्री रीजन्स, वी ऑल नो दैट देयर आर थ्री रीजन्स: जोना ग्लोमेरुलोसा, the outermost region which is very thin or thin layer, zona fasciculata, the middle thick region, and zona reticularis, that is inner thin region. So all these three regions are basically forming your adrenal cortex, and each of them has their own particular hormones, specific hormones. Very first is outer region, outer thin layer or region, zona glomerulosa. It secretes basically mineralocorticoid. This mineralocorticoid is also known as aldosterone. This aldosterone hormone is known as a salt retaining hormone. What does it mean is basically it regulates salt water balance as well as sodium and potassium levels in the blood, and is also maintains the blood volume and blood pressure. So it is entirely dealt with your salt, basically the salt balance, that is your salt water and sodium potassium balance. Okay, so students, first we have done. Second one is zona fasciculata, middle thick region. It secretes glucocorticoid, that is also known as cortisols. Now the name itself says gluco, which means it will deal with glucose. So basically it regulates the metabolism of carbohydrate, proteins and lipids. It increases the blood glucose levels, as well as it acts as an immunosuppressive agent, that is nothing but anti-allergic agent. Now how it is related, I'll tell you. Whenever there is immunosuppression at that period of time, mostly the allergens से जो allergy होता है patients को या any particular person को, that can be prevented, and because of that such hormone can also act as an anti-allergic agent. Last part is nothing but your zona reticularis, that is the inner thin region. It secretes basically gonadocorticoid. This gonadocorticoid is nothing but your androgens and estradiols. These androgens are nothing but your male sexual hormones. Estradiols are nothing but the female sexual hormones. So basically इनको हम लोग sex corticoids भी बोलते हैं. These are basically responsible to regulate, in case of males as well as females, the maintenance of secondary sexual characteristics. It includes everything and anything that should be there during the development of puberty. I hope you all are very much clear about that. Now next is, you have to always remember the excess secretion of your gonadocorticoids is very much like we can say it as it has various disorders, such as in case of females it may lead to adrenal virilism or hirulistism. That is nothing but there will be excess hairs on the facial part, and in case of males it might lead to gynecomastia, that is nothing but we can say it as enlarged breast in case of males. So these are the problems due to the excess secretion of your gonadocorticoids. Next is adrenal medulla. Now this adrenal medulla is again derived from your ectoderm. It secretes adrenaline and noradrenaline, also known as epinephrine and norepinephrine. You must be very much aware about these hormones. That is nothing but, if you'll see adrenaline is known as 3F hormone. What does it mean? Basically it is an emergency hormone. It prevents, or it is basically secreted in the condition known as flight, fright and fight. So this 3F stands for flight, fright and fight. In such condition, when your body is excited at that period of time, this adrenaline hormone is mostly secreted, and in the condition wherein your body has to be relaxed, that is after your fight, flight or fright condition is done, so noradrenaline basically regulates your blood pressure. It basically calms your body down. Okay students, coming to the last part, that is disorders of adrenal gland. Again, we have hyposecretion and hypersecretion. Whenever there is hyposecretion, mostly it leads to the low levels of your mineralocorticoid and glucocorticoid. It mostly leads to Addison's disease. The characteristics feature of this disease is mostly the person who is having this disease is basically having your low blood sugar levels. Then there will be the low sodium and high potassium concentrations in the plasma, increased loss of sodium and water in urine. It may lead to weight loss, weakness, nausea, vomiting and diarrhea as well. So this is the disease. A temporary hyposecretion of your this mineralocorticoids and glucocorticoids definitely affects your metabolism, and in turn it leads to the mineral problems or demineralization, or say mineral like lockdown or lockdown in your body basically. Next is your hypersecretion. In your hypersecretion, it is nothing but your overproduction of glucocorticoid. It leads to Cushing's disease. In this Cushing's disease, basically it leads to high blood sugar levels, glucose in the urine, rise in the sodium in blood volume, high blood pressures and obesity. You all know what is the meaning of obesity, the overfat that you have in a person have in his or her body. So that is nothing but the obesity. So in this way you have done with the disorder. Students, I am giving you all the papers, just screenshot it. This is the first page, students, screenshot it. This one is the second one. Okay. This is the next one. This is fourth one. Okay students, so in today's lecture we have dealt with your adrenal gland, your parathyroid gland and thymus. I have given you all reference notes. Go through it, screenshot it properly and write it in your notebook as an assignment as you do every day, and submit it to me. Let me know if any doubts you all are having. Thank you so much for listening me.